I'm curious, when you guys got here, Will Brooks is going into his redshirt freshman season. At what point did you say this is a guy, or did you realize this is a guy that could help you on special teams? And at what point did you realize this is a guy that could, be a real contributor at safety?
Yeah, that's a great question, man, because it's, you get in this business, man, to help and develop kids. That's what it's all about. That's why I got into business, is to get some guys in a program that you want. Obviously we walked into it. He was here already. Somebody that is a hard worker. Everything he does is first class. You know what I mean? Whether it's off the field, on the field. But when football-wise, you knew right away, because as we were putting in the package three and a half years ago, whatever it was, right? And you obviously ask the questions in the room. You ask, hey, you give, what are we doing in this quarters coverage? You know what I mean? Bam, you get the instant answers. You know what I mean? Somebody else was a little bit delaying or whatever, and he was constantly doing that. So, but then now when he gets his opportunity on the field early on, and most of it's going to be special teams, because we're a space group, meaning we deal with space the most. The best special team players should be the guys at the skill position, let alone the defensive backs / linebackers. You know what I mean? They deal with the most. They read and react, and he immediately makes an impact as we go through practice, drill after drill, very consistent, finds out a way how we're going to do it, how we're going to teach it. And since day one, he was that way. And so when he was given the opportunity to run down a kickoff the first year, or on the kickoff return, or he knew how to line up, he knew his job, but then he was also productive. You know what I mean? So there's no surprise to see where Will Brooks is at, because, man, he's the same guy every day. You know what I mean? And still trying to get better. And so all that does is, I said it early on in camp, I thought I really love this group. I really do. Whether it's older, whether it's younger, whatever it is, man, they're locked in, man. And a lot of it's because of guys like Will Brooks. He's not the only one in the room, but definitely, you know what I mean? You have somebody that actually is doing it. He'll be the first one when he makes a mistake, man. I own it, man. That's on me. I got to be better. Just like a coach would do it, and like he should do it if he made a mistake. So, great example. He does it every day.
What's been his biggest area of growth as a player over these last few years?
As a leader, he's more vocal. He's not afraid to say it. Before he was quiet, and we got on him. We kept on telling him, listen, man, you've proven it. You've actually proved it, and that's the best way of being a great leader. Is a great teammate is a guy that does it the right way, works hard. You know what I mean? Productive. He's earned it, and so he's more vocal.
Just sort of following up on that question, I think it was Jermod who said during the preseason that Will was the kind of guy who he could go to and sort of dive into his bank of knowledge. How deep is that bank of knowledge that he has, and how valuable is it to have a player, sort of a player coach like that, who's been here, who knows what's going on, who can be that way to teach those other guys?
Yeah, it's highly important, right? Again, you got a guy who's a good player, and again, you got credibility, you got street credit, you know what I mean? You've proven that you've done it, so that with everything that comes out of your mouth, you know what I mean? They should be listening. They should see it, because, man, your peers will respect you. If you're a really good player and you're smart and you're tough, and that's Will Brooks, then obviously that's better leadership than I can create. I'm playing the game, I'm the mentor, I'm the teacher. I'm not going to move off, whatever my task is, and I'm going to keep on pushing, man. But when players are doing it and they're driving it, man, and that's what we had, and that's what we've built here, man, he's the poster child.
The term flush it has been kind of used by coaches and players this season. I don't remember it being as much of a motto last season. Is it kind of a new motto for the team this year? And personally, what does it mean to you to kind of flush it in terms of the bad plays, bad snaps?
Yeah, it's really the next play is the most important play. It's the next play. And whether you're using that as an example of just flush it, man, let's go, we're on to the next play. It's really, that's how we see it. That's how I see it. You're only as good as, obviously, the next one, really, to be honest with you. We already know what the results are. We're moving forward. We want to get this bad taste in our mouths, and we're just moving on, because obviously, we got a great opponent in Florida, and they have a lot of really good players. This is a great league. It's the best league in the country. Man, the next team is the most important team. The next play. So that's how they look at it.
How would you evaluate that star position to this point in the season? Two guys haven't played a whole lot of football. Obviously, one's a freshman, and where do they still need to continue to grow as you move on?
Yeah, we knew that it was going to be some growing pains going through it, but I think we've done a really good job of mixing Christian and Boo, their strengths, and building off and improving on their weaknesses. And that's really the weaknesses that neither one of them played the position here. One was here playing corner in Christian Harrison. The other is a freshman that came in here, been here for 10 months and is learning how everything is done. And they have strengths, and they've proven it in the games, and continually growing and getting better and better. We had a great practice today. Boy, I tell you what, the whole I think as a team we did, but also the communication was really good, and it really starts with them because they set the set the calls and it's getting better. It's only the experience. Obviously, you can only get it when you're playing. So they're gaining the confidence.
We saw a few more open receivers against your defense in that Arkansas game than we have earlier this year. I know Arkansas has good players and nothing's going to be perfect, but what were some of the things you saw in breaking down the tape and why there were a few of those open receivers against you guys?
Yeah, you might be talking about zone coverages and stuff like that, and there was, we got to do a better job of tackling. That the first thing that shows up when you're playing in the perimeter, and you have to be really good against offenses. Doesn't matter what the offense is. We got to be elite at the perimeter game, whether that's screens or whether a guy catches a ball. The yards cannot be, after the catch. That's what you're trying to minimize, the yards after the catch. They cut some balls, obviously in one-on-one situations. We didn't win some. We didn't win the one-on-ones that we've been winning. And again, that just comes from playmaking. That comes from fundamentals and technique. Not to take anything away from, like you just said, Arkansas is a good football team, and they deserve to win. That's we got to play better. On our end of it, we feel like there's a lot of stuff there that was us, too. Okay, so we weren't the smartest on certain plays. We weren't as physical as we needed to be. We missed a tackle when we shouldn't have missed a tackle that created a momentum change. We missed an assignment, as a defense, in a crucial moment on third down that allow them to change the field on us, man. We want to be a dominant defense. We want to be elite defense. We want to keep the field position when we have the field position, So, yeah, they're going to, offenses are going to make plays, man. They're going to make plays, And we want to be in tight coverage. We just got to play smarter. We got to play harder and longer in moments, and especially back at the end of the game.
Coach, how big of a deal is it to prepare to face two quarterbacks like you will this week? Does that put a lot extra on the plate for your guys, or do we make too much of that?
It doesn't because most of it, they're two really good quarterbacks. Both of them are athletic. You could say one is a little bit faster than the other, man, but they're very effective in what they do. We played against Mertz last year, and he played a great game against us. He was obviously played really well off schedule, made some big time throws, and DJ now obviously he's got a great arm, man. What a talent! Obviously got great size. Both of them can make every throw, and then both of them can hurt you. In the quarterback run plays, So we got to contain it. We just played one. We played two back to back, to be honest with you. So very similar to the guys that we just finished playing, and we got to contain them and get to them and force them to throw them off schedule, and be effective in doing it.
Kind of building off of that, being able to either contain the run, the quarterback, what have you, how much of that comes down to effort from the defense and being able to contain a dynamic offense? Yeah,
I think it starts with our front, right, our front seven, or if we're pressuring, it could be a perimeter player, is keeping them in the pocket, and that's the most important thing. It has nothing to do, I thought our guys I thought we played hard, Did we play smart at some times? No, we could have played smarter in some moments. Did we play long enough and harder, than our opponent? I think at times we saw that we didn't, But containing the quarterback is just making sure you keep your rush lanes not going past the level of the quarterback or the ball, you know what I mean, and continue to push the pocket and where you're actually containing it, you know, and not let them out of the pocket. And if that's the case and that happens, it happened to us a couple of times where, you know, we know they're going to throw the ball down deep, you know, we got to be able to stay, you know, what we call plaster, but staying with our receivers, with our eyes, have got to transfer it to stay on the wideout, not the quarterback.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.